What's going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you for another live review of NXT. We're going to take a look at the January 31st, 2018 edition of NXT, and it is mainly just the Fallout show from NXT Takeover not New Orleans, Philadelphia. Usually, I haven't reviewed a Fallout show from an NXT Takeover because usually it's just a couple of dark matches and just recapping of what happened on the at the previous takeover. So it really isn't really too much to talk about. But watching the show again, I thought there was a little bit to talk about as well. So I thought, why not fire it up, go for a review for a little bit. So if you're tuning into the live chat, thank you for tuning in as always. I will go through this pretty quickly because I think there's not really too much to talk about really, but we'll see what we have on the horizon. So first, it was also announced that Nigel McGuinness was not there. He was not there at Takeover on Saturday, also due to recent illness. So get well to Nigel. Hope to have him back very soon. So then we had the first match. It was Nikki Cross taking on Lacey Evans, based off of that promo that Evans cut a few weeks ago. That a lot of people are saying that that they say that was Lacey Evans turning heel. To me, I felt she was already a heel. This was just more so her just establishing herself and showing that there's going to be more of her, upcoming. So we had Lacey Evans taking on Nikki Cross. That was one of the women that she called out. So this was them having their match, and I thought it was a pretty good match. Nikki Cross and going unhinged. It's funny, because earlier I was watching a couple of videos on YouTube. Beyond the Ropes, or they're called interviews, and I heard about Nikki Cross and some of her backstory as well, which is strange to see Nikki Cross normal and not unhinged and whatnot. It kind of cracks me up a little bit sometimes. But yeah, Nikki Cross just going nuts because Lacey just called her out recently, just beating the heck out of her, and Lacey got the upper hand on her a few times as well. But I thought it was a pretty good match between these two women. Nikki Cross would eventually pick up the win with the fisherman with the swinging fisherman's neck breaker, which that looks pretty good to get the victory. So yeah, I mean, after the match, Nikki did try to go after Lacey again, but Lacey got out of the way and they held her back. And then you hear Lacey Evans just look at Nikki and start going, "You're crazy," pretty much. So like Lacey Evans is on her quest to become the women of NXT, like the top woman as well. So yeah, not a bad match at all. Hassan Amaya said, "I thought you were doing a live stream. I missed NXT, so I'll watch it tomorrow." All right, that's cool. But yeah. So, anyways, then we just saw highlights from the tag title match, the Authors of Pain, and then also well, this was next, and then we also had so we were going to get exclusive footage of what happened when Tommaso Ciampa attacked Giant Gargano after the match on Saturday night. But so yeah, we had that upcoming lately. We then had also highlights of the NXT Women's Title match between Ember Moon and Shayna Baszler. Again, it was mainly just Shayna Baszler just trying to pull off her submission maneuvers on Ember Moon. But as I thought it was if Ember was going to win the match, the best way was for her to sneak a roll up or whatnot, and she did. So Ember got the victory, but afterwards, Shayna Baszler, choked her out with the Kirifuda clutch, and was interviewed backstage, pretty much saying how, you're asking me about a tough loss. Well, who actually won tonight? Ember didn't actually win; she survived. And so what she did, so you better be going asking those same questions to Ember, because who really won this match? So again, as I say, no, I think it's going to be setting up eventually for I think a submission match at Takeover New Orleans. I am predicting, based off of what we've seen. I think that would be a way to give Shayna Baszler her the NXT Women's Championship at NXT Takeover New Orleans. Again, just allow us get to know Shayna a little bit more, and season out a little bit too, because she already looks pretty good. But I think she can definitely you don't want to just rush her into the title picture right away without us getting to know her first. So that's what's going on here. And then we also mentioned how Ember entered the Women's Royal Rumble also, and had a good showing in there as well this past Sunday also, despite being taped up and hurt from that match. We also went over Aleister Black's Extreme Rules match against Adam Cole. the Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, had run-ins in there as well, but Sanity knocked them off, returning after they were attacked 2 weeks earlier by the Undisputed Era, and then we had Fish and O'Reilly seen backstage afterwards helping Cole walk through the hallway and just talking about how their plan backfired. But then Cole tells them to call back and they will get revenge against Sanity. And then that's when we find out that next week, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly will defend their tag titles against Sanity's Eric Young and Killian Dane next week. And Eric Young and Alexander Wolf. And we will also get a singles match between Adam Cole and Killian Dane. And we also had photos as well of Adam Cole, of his few spots in the Royal Rumble match as well, which I also mentioned too yesterday, that Adam Cole, rumors has it, was originally supposed to be the one to accept Bobby Roode's U.S. title open challenge on the pre-show, but they thought it wasn't a good idea to have Cole just come to the main roster for one night just to lose for no reason all whatsoever. So they instead gave Mojo Rawley that spot, and they had Adam Cole take his place in the Royal Rumble. So as we got there. We also had highlights from the Velveteen Dream Cassius Ohno's match. Interview backstage, because as Reem did say before, before the match that he can knock out the knockout artist in 30 seconds, which he somewhat did in like 22 seconds. But he says he knows what he said. But he talked about how Ono knocked his mouthpiece out to make sure he couldn't do what he said. But Cassius, the NXT universe, and everyone else knows what it says on his trunks: "Dream over," and that's exactly what happened on Saturday. It was dream over for Cassius Ono. So look forward to see what happens next with the Velveteen Dream. We then had a returning TM61 who has not been seen in about a year, because the last time we saw them, that's when I think Shane Thorne suffered a knee injury that kept the team out for about a year, I'd say, after the revival wrote them off television. So they had their returning match against the Ely brothers. I've seen them here and there, but I think their names are Gabriel and Uriel. I think I can't remember 100%. Yeah, Gabriel and Uriel. For the most part, I mean, it wasn't a complete squash. It was a good match between these two teams. So just to, we've been seeing those vignettes of them explaining of us again to know who TM61 is again. I thought they put on a pretty strong match. They hadn't really missed a beat. They had a really good match at the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Finals at TakeOver Toronto in 2016. We're runners up, but the future plan I think is for TM61 to get a title shot against Fish and O'Reilly at TakeOver. New Orleans. Probably not going to win the tag titles, but I'd say after that or sometime this summer, I think I'd like to see them as a strong babyface contending team on SmackDown Live in the tag team division as well. But give them in that strong tag team division. So yeah, a pretty good return match. It's good to see these guys back. I missed them. They're definitely an underrated tag team, I feel, in my opinion, but they're very awesome. Christy St. Cloud then eliminated TM61 backstage. They say what WWE fans have seen isn't the real them, because they are the mighty and they don't kneel. And then we had Andrade Cien Almas. We showed a video package of his victory over Johnny Gargano. And then we were talked about also the attack by Tommaso Ciampa after the match, and after Tommaso did that, he pretty much just walked out of the arena because the cameras stopped following him around, but he refused to talk to anybody. He didn't even look at them or anything. He just walked right back out. So don't know when we'll see Tommaso Ciampa again. I'm sure pretty darn soon. But then Andrade Cien Almas also was showed about he was in the Rumble match. I didn't realize this, but he lasted almost 30 minutes in the match. He had, I think, 1 or 2 eliminations. I know he eliminated Kofi Kingston, but they gave him a lot of time in that Rumble match, which was pretty darn good for the NXT champion. Made him look pretty strong on the main roster. And then they're interviewed afterwards, and Zelina Vega says that this was her plan all along, and CN says this is only the beginning. And they laugh how, Johnny Wrestling was probably watching the match from home on his television pretty much. And then we also had a reminder saying how Ethan Carter III was spotted in Philly Saturday night. They didn't mention these names. Also, we also saw I can't remember the one guy's name. Ricochet, whatever his name is, and the Warlord. We saw them out there at NXT as well. So they're all coming to NXT as well. So look forward to see what they do with them. This is EC3's first time back at NXT in 5 years also. So hopefully this run goes good for him this time. And then we had our main event. Roderick Strong taking on Tyler Bate for the #1 contendership for the United Kingdom Championship. The winner's going to face Pete Dunne to get a shot at the United Kingdom Championship. I thought it was a pretty good match. It was strange enough that I thought that Roderick Strong felt like he looked a little more like a heel in this match. I don't think he turned heel, but he said he had a little more of like a vicious side to him in this match, despite this being like a face-on-face match. But I thought him and Tyler worked very well together. They countered each other pretty darn well. I mean, Tyler Bates, a guy I feel like could even carry a match if he wanted to, because he's just that talented. He's like what 5'9", 5'10", 175 pounds, but he can wrestle like any style. He like meshes well with any style as well. What makes him so special? He's a great wrestler. He wrestled like a big man. He can wrestle like a cruiserweight, whatnot. He's a special talent. Him and Roddy, I think, had like very similar good chemistry together. I thought that they had a couple good follow-ups and counters as well. Roderick Strong though would overcome Tyler's bait though, hitting the end of Heartache, whatever they call that back strike that he strikes to his back to get the victory. So we will be getting a United Kingdom Championship match between Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong sometime down the line. We will actually also see Roderick Strong apparently on 205 Live next week for the next 2 matches of the Cruiserweight Championship tournament. So I hope he's not staying up there all the time. I mean, I hope he's not staying up in 205 Live, and I hope it's just a one-off thing, because I don't want to see Roderick Strong go to 205 Live. But that's it, guys. That's just a quick review of this week's episode of NXT. Again, it was really just a Fallout show, but I felt it was a little bit more able to talk about it than most Fallout shows for NXT, which are always usually good, but there's not really much to really say of what happened. Like 2 matches, mostly recaps. I mean, tonight we had like 3 matches and some recaps and some interviews. So for us, I thought it was a little bit more reviewable show. That's why I decided to review the show. So if I give it a grade, I'll give it a B+. It was not like it was more of a recap show. Again, we had some pretty darn good matches. Nikki Cross and Lacey Evans did great. TM61 looked great in their return. And Roderick Strong and Tyler Bate put in a very, very strong main event. So what are your thoughts on this week's episode of NXT? And do you have any early predictions for NXT TakeOver New Orleans? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And as always, remember to click that like and subscribe if you're going to come to the channel. Follow me on Twitter as well at DemandAirboy93. Tomorrow, I'm not sure. I may try to get some of my match cards done. I'll try to do maybe at least Elimination Chamber and Fastlane, and then if I have time, maybe I'll also get done the TakeOver New Orleans and maybe the WrestleMania card. I'll get those done earlier than I usually do, but I'll get those done. I'll try to do a live stream Friday night talking about this cover and just talk and just share some like my favorite dream matches that I have, and if anybody else wants to come in as well, that's awesome too. But yep, all right, guys. Again, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, DemandAirboy93, and until then, guys, I'll catch you later. Until then, have a great night.